Okay, Jack, do I need to turn this? Oh, this is on already. Amazing. I'm going to start the Zoom. Yes. Amazing. Good morning, everybody. The only thing I want to do is just make sure that we mute upon entry. Mute all upon entry.
Place called Sparks.
Jack wears a different pattern shirt every day. You get to wear different pattern pants every day.
Those ones you had on the other day
What?
with the angels on them, the baby,
The cherubs?
like, where did you get this stuff? What reminds you? Love it.
How did your closing go?
Really super smooth.
Oh, it is excellent.
Yeah, I like to have a little flair.
In the closet. Right?
Everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me when I'm over here, Lucas?
I don't want there to be any questions in people's mind, you know, what side of the fence I'm sitting on. I stopped by, I buy direct this morning because yesterday at this meeting, this guy had this big pair of Ray-Ban glasses on. They were so sexy.
Can you hear me now?
And I stopped by when I was in the neighborhood to get my hair cut. And I looked,
So good.
they had some for $100.
Thanks, Kristen.
$100, it was $110 to have a prescription for them. But then if I wanted to put them through a progressive, or I mean, so they
Fabulous. Thank you, Z. Hi, Joey. Hi, Matt.
I will.
Okay.
Come over, I'll get your ball of wine,
Order. I'm gonna get started and
cheese, and some salami. Yeah. A big old steak of salami.
Only in an office like that. God. You could say that. Who's HR? Yeah. Emily's I gotta talk to you.
I'm pretty safe with either one of them. Go ahead and talk. You know, you guys can take Johnny's seat, then you know what? You reevaluate your life. How many hours you got left?
I think it's done, but it's not updated as real. Because I can't log in.
Yeah, the showings this week. It's the worst to go to showings and have all of a sudden have not have your super work. That happened to me once.
Oh, did it really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's.
Oh, wow. There's no way to remotely open those.
Nope.
We can actually just call the agent and they can open that.
No, I didn't. And it was all because I took the 1 hour class instead of 2 hour
Sorry, I'm trying to find my mouse.
Right here,
class.
yeah.
Okay.
Because it was like hitting you too hard. I guess. Yeah. Does that help you concentrate?
You guys, technology is so easy and so complicated all at the same time. Zoom?
Well, yeah, I know you're. Yeah. I've never done it, so I should.
You should buy it now by the
Okay, you guys, we are gonna get going. All right, if you guys are over over, because I can't cast to both the TVs right now. So if you guys are over on that side, you're probably gonna wanna scoot over here so you can see this marketing guide that I have just on this TV. Apologies for the movement over there. Okay, you guys on Zoom, you can see my shared screen, correct? Fantastic. Okay. So this today kicks off our first of 2 marketing for a listing sessions, I should say. So today what we're going to go through, Jack is absolutely brilliant and he's created this marketing guide for us as a Perry Group. Yep, round of applause to Jack. So good. And we've been working on this for a couple weeks now, and we're really, really excited to just have all of this info all in one space. So, just so you guys know, for the future of this, and if, Mona, you weren't here when I said this, but if you're over there, you may not be able to see this marketing guide, but so you may want to scoot over on this side.
Okay. 3 more seats.
Yep. I don't bite. Come sit up here. Okay, so for the future of this, we are likely going to combine this with our listing guide that we already have and just give that a facelift as well. Right now, it's its own separate thing. But again, we're probably going to combine those 2 things. So just know we have the listing guide, we have the seller's guide, and we have a marketing guide right now. We want to make sure that that's all, everybody knows how to use all of these pieces, these resources all in one spot. Any questions, comments, concerns about that? Is that all good? Okay, cool. The next week, we just want to give you guys a heads up for next week. What we're going to dive into next week is actual prospecting methods for listings, right? So we're going to call those, well, I'm going to create, we've chatted about this a couple times, but I'm going to create flywheels is what I'm calling them. For different prospecting methods for a listing. For example, we'll have an open house flywheel, then a geofarm flywheel, then maybe a, direct mail flywheel, so on and so forth, right? So you as an individual could say, I really want to focus on open houses right now. Here's my flywheel where every single spoke, right, the center, the hub of this wheel is open house. Every single spoke will be a different activity that will loop right back to the top, so you can just keep going and going and going and going until all of a sudden you're like, okay, this is a machine, I'm ready to rock, I've got all of my tools all in one spot, I know where all my resources are, and then maybe in the future you're like, ooh, I could start geofarming this area, so I'm gonna grab this flywheel as well and start doing this. Does that make sense? Okay, so right now, this focus for today is gonna be on explaining and going through this new marketing guide, really understanding the foundation of marketing that the team offers, and then next week we're building on that for you as an individual. Yes? Fantastic. Okay, let's go. Let's do this.
You want to?
Get them both TVs real quick.
Yeah, can you?
It should be as simple as plugging this in.
Well, the issue is that I don't have a plug for it. Sorry, I'm charging my computer. It was so dead this morning. I literally thought it was dead. Not this morning, like 5 minutes ago. I thought it was completely dead out. I was panicking inside. I started sweating, but everything's fine. We're good. We're alive. Okay, so this marketing guide, we're going to go through. This is how you would use it in, let's make sure I can use this software. You would use this in a listing presentation. So that's our setting. We're in a listing presentation. Oh yeah, we're in a listing presentation and we roll this out. Maybe this is before you get to comps, right? So again, if you remember our listing presentation flow, the comps and things, let me see if I can pull up our,
You might have to rearrange things. But it'll be on the team. Oh, where'd it go?
okay, hang on.
Yeah, we'll stop your task.
No, it's all
Or
good.
you for the side.
It's all good. Okay, hang on. Pause. on Zoom, but we're not going to use
The HDMI one.
How is it?
Sweet.
Look at all these techies in here.
This is amazing. Okay. So, M, you're monitoring chat for me, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. And if on Zoom, can you see if I switch screens, M? Like this, to this? You're only seeing the very group guide? Okay. Okay.
It might be because you're only sharing a portion, like you might have selected only one screen to be able to share.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, go to the drop-down there. Advanced sharing off, please.
Reshare your entire screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, here we go, yeah.
Then just this one?
Do like all of the desktop one.
Okay, and scene. We're back on. Thanks, everybody. All right, so the primary focus is we're going over this, but I do just want to kind of set the scene for this. So we're in a listing presentation. You guys remember us going over this listing guide here. Let me zoom in so everybody can see this. Okay, I'm going to scroll all the way down. This is the prep and presentation checklist. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps of a listing presentation. The third step in this right here is show off your marketing materials. And then at the very end, we go through and we discuss pricing strategy. And then at the very end, we discuss our CMA and decide on a price, right? So I just want to make sure we're all kind of thinking about this in the correct order. What we have been, I'm so freaking excited to go through this marketing guide because the team does a really good job of marketing listings. As an individual, especially, raise your hand if you're a new agent in this room that you haven't had a listing before, right? It's hard to show what your listing would look like when you haven't had one before, right? Okay, raise your hand if you've had 5 or less listings, right? Okay, hard, again, kind of still hard to show what your marketing would look like when you haven't had a ton of listings. So we've created that for you. And even as an agent, raise your hand if you've had more than 5 listings in your career. Having something really slick and beautiful like this is just going, I mean, people are just going to melt over this. I had a little bit of an inside look into this, and let's see, 2 days ago, presented this to a seller, and it was just like, holy shit, like just awesome. It really, really showcases everything we do. Okay, so again, this is going to be future part of the listing guide. Right now, this will be a PDF. You'll have access to showcase it exactly like this on this platform. So it flips through like a book. The digital presentation of this is really beautiful. You guys see that? Okay. So I promise to work tirelessly to make your home listing experience as seamless and enjoyable as possible. I will always put you first. This means listening intently, honoring, and fighting for your wants and needs as if they were my own. One thing that I'm just gonna, I'll say this right here, right off the bat. I've been big on this. You guys have heard this, me say this probably 1,000 times. It drives me crazy recently when I hear somebody say, buying real estate is stress-free, right? With me, it's stress-free. Have you guys heard me talk about this? Who's heard me talk about this? Okay, it's not a stress-free process. It's just not, right? But if we if you as an agent can communicate, this is going to be stressful, right? But with me, it can be seamless. Those are 2 very different things. I'm here to take off as much as possible off of your plate, right? So we can minimize the stress that you're gonna feel. And you can even say in a listing presentation, if you're interviewing somebody else and they tell you it's stress-free, they're giving you a plate of lies. They live in a house of lies, right? Okay? But you can start to separate yourself by calling that out, which I think is a kind of a powerful thing. Okay, so marketing guide contents. This is just a table of contents. I'm gonna move this out of the way so I can see myself. Okay. Okay, our internal network. We are future-proofing this. We're not quite at 175 agents, but we might as well say we're at these are what we call boo numbers, right? Or we just exaggerate just a little bit, just so that way we don't have to keep making new iterations of it, okay? But we're just about there. Right now we're about 160 in the organization. So our internal network, this is a really, really, really powerful thing to showcase, that we are 175 strong. The whole purpose with explaining this marketing, or the real like shtick with explaining marketing stuff to a client, you have to make it relatable to them. Great, you have 175 agents. What does that do for me? Why does that matter? Does anybody have any thoughts? How would you answer that question? Why does that matter? Yeah.
You're not just hiring me, you're hiring 175 agents.
Yep.
So we all communicate, we all help each other. So
You're not just hiring me, you're hiring 175 agents. Support. What else? Yeah.
I was just gonna say that along with support, it's like if I haven't encountered something that we are going to run into, there's definitely someone on my team who has and who can help me out in the same way that I can help you.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Edris on Zoom says a network of buyers, along with those experienced agents, a team that helps out not just the listing agent, but a team that helps broaden our reach. Yep, that's huge. So how you say this, right, you have to make it important to the seller. You have to make it important to them and impactful for them. So our agents' overlapping spheres of influence, you see the second line right here, create thousands of direct buyer connections, increasing the chances of finding the perfect buyer, often before your home even hits the market. In fact, right, so this flows really nicely right here. Often before your home even hits the market. In fact, 15% of our transactions happen off market due to our extensive buyer network. Super nice flow with that, okay? We, as a team, we generally see 80% more likes, saves, and shares for our listings on those leading platforms like Zillow. Okay, we pause there. That stat is really, really cool. Where that stat comes from is with Zillow Showcase. Okay, it's a beta program that we're piloting. We only have a certain number of credits that we can use per month, and we're piloting that right now with agents on the team that have a ton of listings. And once that grows, that will start to, we'll start to farm that out to everybody, okay? But you can say right now, we have an extensive partnership with Zillow. We're gonna get to, just to give you guys a little inside look here, we will get to our Zillow partnership on the next page. But you can absolutely say with certainty, our listings as a team genuinely get 80% more likes, shares, and views on Zillow, which is the #1 real estate platform in the world, right? We spend over $3 million per year. Why does that matter to a seller? On leads. Why does that matter to a seller? We're investing in what?
And what we believe that we can do. We put a lot of money up front to make this process work, and so it shows that we're confident in our processes and systems.
Yep, we're confident. I love that. I think that's really, really brilliant phrasing of this. We are so confident in our ability to service a transaction that we are willing to put a $3 million per year investment behind it. That's a really, really cool way to say that. What we have written right here is we spend $3 million per year on bringing buyers and sellers, or buyers and homes, to this marketplace, which is cool. Yeah? You with me?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
One thing also, as like last week we were talking about like being able to support yourself when someone comes back to you like arguing your commission. That is something you can fall back on, say like the end of your presentation. You'd be like, well, part of my commission goes towards this $3 million that we invest into listing your home, into getting buyers, things like that.
I love that.
Or am I wrong? Is that
No, I think that's
okay?
I think that's a really unique way to spin that. So if you guys didn't hear on Zoom or on the YouTube channel, Alec was saying that if you get a commission objection, and I'll try to
Yeah,
paraphrase,
you're good.
but when you get a commission objection, that is a tool in the commission objection tool belt,
Yeah.
right? Where you could say something like, part of my commission is reinvested, what I earn from these transactions is reinvested into bringing more buyers to this marketplace, right? Bringing more buyers, more well-qualified buyers to your home in specific, right? I think that's a
Yeah.
very artful way of saying that. I love that. Any other questions, thoughts, comments on that? Cool? Okay, rock and roll. Okay, this one is so rad. So 3.1 homes were sold by us as a team per day last year. Per day. Okay, why does that matter to a seller?
Well, when they hear the news, they hear that transactions are down big
Yeah.
time. So like, we're doing the opposite as a group of what the rest of the industry is doing.
Yeah, okay, cool, yep, we're doing the opposite. So why does that matter to a seller?
If they want to get their home sold is the goal. So why not invest with the team that is closing the most amount of deals by far in the whole state of Utah?
Yep, for sure. That your investment actually has results, right? Like the results are proven. We sold over three homes per every single day in 2024. And our list to sold price percentage as a team is 99.8% compared to the national average of 97.8%, right? That is so freaking rad. That is so cool. How are we doing on Zoom? Any questions? Any comments? Amazing. Okay. Social media influence. This is really, really cool. This is a huge piece of the puzzle in the broader real estate landscape. So this QR code takes you directly to our the Perry Group's page, main Instagram page, where you can see how we are turning engagement into opportunity for you as a seller. So they can see the kind of videos that we post. They can see the engagement that we have. For example, on Instagram. Sorry, I'm trying to. Whoop, go. Okay, for example, on Instagram, and this is kind of how I would explain these things. Is I would go from top to bottom. So on Instagram, we have over a 600,000 unique user reach year over year, and on Facebook, we have a 326,000 reach year over year, meaning we have eyes of 1 million people on our shit. You know what I mean? Like 1 million people. That is so freaking cool. Okay? And on Instagram, we got 27,000 people in engagement year over year. Am I saying this right, Jack?
Yeah.
Okay. And 887 unique impressions year over year, right? Just on Instagram. So our reach, meaning our followers, right? Is that, how would you say that, Jack?
Your reach is how many people are seeing your stuff.
The accounts, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so how many views,
Mm-hmm.
right? How many people have seen our stuff year over year?
How many
And
people?
then impressions?
And then impressions, it's similar
Yeah.
to reach, honestly.
Okay.
So it's just how many people are,
How many people re-engage maybe?
yeah.
Like, so impressions, somebody could come back multiple times is the way
Mhm.
and unique reach is probably one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can say it like that.
Yeah.
ChatGPT for us. Okay. Does everybody see it, the power of this? Like how cool, once we get the flow down, this is my first time presenting this in front of agents, but it's freaking cool, right?
Mary, can I share something?
Yes.
So, I believe this and love it so much. I met a Zillow last year, and she had barely just moved from New York. And when she was doing her Utah research in New York before she moved here, the Perry Group page was like, she was already following the Perry Group page.
Nice.
So when I showed up with the Perry Group folder, like she already knew our brand and our intent and who we were.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Yep. Which is so cool, right? Okay, so like think about that. Everybody take that. This is what I think a huge element of the team is. The story sell that Hannah was talking about in team meeting is critical, right? So every single one of you can take that exact story and say, one of our agents connected with a client through Zillow, which we're gonna talk about in a second, that was already following our brand as an organization, and she was able to bring that buyer from New York to this marketplace and potentially to your home as a seller, right? Because the branding matters, the reach that we have matters to you as a seller. We are then able to, we'll talk about this when we get to Zillow again, but we love to be able to, it's so cool when you see in-house transactions, right? When you see that we get both sides of that. Our reach on social media and our reach on Zillow allows us to ensure that both sides of those transactions are managed by the best agents in the industry, and that is each and every one of you, right? Like you guys, every single one of you are part of the top 1% of this industry, right? So we love to be able to control both sides of the experience and make sure that that transaction is smooth for both people, right? We both have the exact same objective. Cool? Okay. Okay.
Meg, just
Yes.
real quick, reach is unique users and impressions is just how much your content is displayed. So
Love
if that number is like,
Okay,
yeah, like multiple people could see the same piece of content, but it's gonna count as an impression.
got it. Okay, yes, so
So we
circling
reached
back.
612,000 different people of that. Some of them watched it, multiple
Multiple
times.
times. Exactly.
times.
Correct,
Yep.
yeah.
On Zoom, can you, and I don't know if you two can hear, so I'm just gonna reiterate that. So we did confirm that reach is the unique users that we are reaching year over year, and impressions is the unique time, the views.
It says the amount
Right.
of time that's shown on a screen, so
Okay, the amount of times it's shown on the screen. Yeah, I love that.
even to the same person.
To the same person, so there would be repeat people that are watching that same stuff. But again, I mean, that's over 1 million impressions year over year on our content and on our stuff. Cool? Okay, Zillow partnership. So again, a lot of this stuff is going to be surrounded on these numbers, this 2% higher on offers, 20% faster sales. These are Zillow Showcase data, okay? And I would encourage all of you guys to go on to Zillow Showcase or go on to Zillow.com. You will see what a Zillow Showcase listing looks like. So it has this like sparkle tag on it. It's like this orange sparkly tag. For the first 7 days that a listing is on with Zillow Showcase, it is one of the top 5 listings in that given area that is shown. So it's in that first 5 like set of tiles on the right-hand side. It has like, when you click on the profile, it has like a fancy like moving photo at the top, which looks really good. It also has a 3D tour that people can position and walk themselves through, like a Matterport tour. So more exposure and more interaction with that home itself on the platform. Again, because of our, you'll see this right down here. Sorry, this is my first time using this this platform, so it's a, let's see if I just do that. Okay, so because our members of the Perry Group team sit on the Zillow exclusive advisory board, aka Michael sits on the advisory board, we are able to beta test those kinds of programs. We're the first team that's bringing Zillow Showcase to this marketplace, right? We're setting ourselves apart. Cool? So when you list with us, you gain a competitive edge. When we use that Zillow Showcase, or just in general, you guys, if you're not using Zillow Showcase on a listing, you can say, we do get, and this is bolstered by 2%, we just went over the national average of list to sold price. You guys remember what that percentage was? The national average? 97.8% versus our team list to sold price, which was 99.8, so 2% higher. So that bolsters right here. We can get 2% higher on offers compared to standard MLS listings, so that tracks. We get 600 plus direct inquiries per month. That's how many leads we get per month as an organization. Cool? 20% faster sales than the market average, and 50% less exclusive exposure. So buyers start their home search on Zillow, where your home is going to receive priority placement. Even when you are not using Zillow Showcase on a listing, because of how we market properties, because of the photography, because of the reach that we have, but think about it just for Zillow, because of the photography and the level of just, you know, the art that we approach listings and listing photography with, that does make a huge difference in the amount of viewers that you get, right? So right here, we want to showcase, yes, this is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful home, but in your listing presentation, you could take this and then you could pull up. Who's seen a really bad iPhone photo listing recently? Right? They just make you like
Sad.
want to cry. Yeah, you saw one just today?
Yeah,
Okay, so you could pull that up
perfect.
right alongside this, right? And say, there are so many agents. I was talking to Johnny about this yesterday. I just talked to a seller yesterday morning who was asking me, so I hopefully will be able to get their home under contract off market. And their question to me was, okay, hey, curious, going off market, does that save us any money? I was like, it's an interesting question. What are your thoughts? What are the first thoughts that come into your minds if you were to be asked that question? Does that save us any money? Like for she said, for the listing, photography. How do you respond?
Yes, up front.
Say that one more time on Zoom.
Time is money. You're paying your mortgage an extra day, you're paying utilities an extra day, owning your home an extra day.
Yep. Yep. Okay, you want to know what she said back to that? I'm not really worried about owning it. And we just closed on their purchase today. They're gonna have double mortgage payments, and then like for next month at least. She's like, I'm not super worried about that. I'm just wondering if it'll save on cost of, and she reiterated her question, cost of listing and cost of photography. So what do you say to that one? She's like, I'm not really worried about the double mortgage payment.
Those are costs that I covered for you.
Yep. So when they're not happening, if it's costs that we are covering, when those costs are not happening.
So sorry if this is a silly question, do we cover, like, for, I don't know, a 5,000 square foot property versus an 1,100 square foot property? Are we covering the cost of both of those photos or just a percentage of the cost?
Do you have a,
We cover the basic photo package no matter what the property size is.
okay, yep, cool. Okay, so what I said was in response to that was, look, there is a cost for photography and for the listing video and for like open houses, right? Who spends money on their open houses, right? And if, to Hannah's point, time is money, right? So open houses take a lot of work, for sure. Okay, but if you were looking at, say photography, listing video, and open houses, all three of those things, we know that one is, but all three of those things were coming out of your pocket, how much money would you spend on those three things? $1,000? Like maybe $1,000, right? Okay, but the seed I'm trying to plant and water here is that the listing photography, even though it's important, is not why they're hiring you, right? Any person, any real estate agent could hire a professional photographer and have them come in and take photos of the home and list it on the MLS. So when she's asking me, okay, well there's gotta be a cost for photography, like, yeah, you're right, it is. It's actually minimal. You're not hiring me because I have a professional photographer. You're not hiring me because I'm gonna do open houses, right? You're hiring me because of everything else. Any agent will do that for you. And if they tell you that that's this big, amazing thing, it's not, right? Open houses, listing video, and photography is the basics of what we do as a professional, right? The absolute basics. So I said, you're hiring me because it doesn't necessarily save you time and money, or it doesn't save you money right off the bat. It does save you time and stress, which I told you was my main offer, right? You're hiring me for my negotiation skills. You're hiring me for my network, which I brought you potentially multiple off-market showings and potentially an off-market offer, right? That is what you're hiring me for, is to make this easy. We don't have to go through all of the of scheduling all of these things. That is a benefit. right? I did, just to give you guys like really pull the curtain back, because I knew we were gonna get so much off-market activity on this, I did waive the $4.95 transaction fee for them, right? Because hopefully, we're not gonna go through, and I'll just pay it for them, right? But hopefully we're not gonna go through all the hubbub of like getting all the listing stuff figured out and whatnot. So I was anticipating that was my choice as an agent, right? Does that make sense?
Well, like even the opportunity cost there, right, might not be voluntary for her, but like you get this Jake agent that shows up taking crappy photos on their phone, and they missed out on the perfect buyer for them and now has to sit a lot longer. They get a lower offer. That buyer sucks, so that's just a giant headache. Like, it's not always about the $400. Like potentially could be way worse because the agent, you know, is taking photos with a potato. Like
totally.
a razor from 2004. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Phones were better back then.
I don't know if I've lost that Zoom. Have I lost the Zoom?
Yes, you're no longer sharing.
Okay, hang on 1 sec, let me get back. What do we have on Zoom? Is the chat going off or is this just, let's see, we're good? Okay. Okay, are we back? You can see everything? Anybody on Zoom, like, how do we feel about what we were just talking? Wait, can you hear me? I think I'm muted. Did I just see that?
You are muted. Unmute yourself.
Okay, am I back? I'm back. Okay, how do we feel on Zoom? Any thoughts, comments to what we just kind of went through? Photography matters, but it's not our entire offer. It does make a difference when it's done well, but again, it's just a small piece of the giant puzzle. Yeah? Okay. Okay. We are so excited to roll all this stuff out. So print marketing, Jack has done a lot of research into this. Print marketing makes a huge difference, okay? Everybody, be honest with me. Raise your hand if you've used the print marketing that gets dropped into your inbox when you go under contract or when you sell something. Raise your hand if you've used it. Okay, keep your hand raised if you used it every single time.
Oh, like the social media posts?
Love that. The actual print marketing. Like, do you send out print marketing when you have a like just listed, under contract, or even on your buyer side of things? Under contract, just sold. Do you use it? Okay. So, go ahead.
Like as a door hanger, like I can just go.
Door hanger, flyer.
That's a great idea.
Wow! It's a great idea. Okay. The stats behind print marketing are pretty remarkable. Pretty amazing. Has anybody ever received to their own home like a Summit Sotheby's marketing flyer on a home? Yeah, okay. But how do you guys, when you receive those, other than throwing in the trash can, what do you notice about it?
Go straight to the trash.
Screw this.
Yeah.
Quality paper.
Directly to the trash.
Yeah, great photography, nice finish to it.
Like the photography, also like just sold.
Yeah, the layout of it is really nice. It gives you like I honestly, like, I have kept some for a long time. They are really, it's like, wow, this is, I mean, and I keep it because I will give it to Jack and be like, look at this, you know, wow, you should do this. But like, here's the thing, we have all of that stuff at our disposal. It just takes a little bit of effort to get that stuff sent out, right? So let's go through the stats of this. So 82% of millennials trust print advertisements when making purchasing decisions.
That's insane.
That is insane.
This is crazy, okay? 79% of households report reading or scanning direct mail advertisements. I read and scan literally every single one. I'm in the industry, granted, right? But I read and scan literally every single one of them. They come to my parents' house too, and they're always like on the counter. I'm like, you guys, throw this away. And they're like, no, it's cool, right? You know what I mean? Yes.
Where are these stats from?
Jack, where are these stats from?
can get you the sources, I don't know off the top of my head. But
Okay, we'll get sources.
I do have sources.
Yeah.
Well, no, I feel like I would ask.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
who says who?
You just say the census.
The census.
Throw that one around.
Did you fill out your census? Okay. Now, here's where it gets really, really just interesting for us and in our pitch of things, okay? On average, 9% of people respond to print advertising, okay? Oh, Jack, can we get rid of this line right here where it says compared to 1% for email marketing, because we're just gonna talk about it next.
Yep.
Okay, sweet. So, on average, 9% of people respond to print advertisements compared to the only 1% on average that respond to your email marketing. Okay? Now, 9% may not, in my mind, like it's not like this big fancy number, right? But when you compare it to only 1% that actually engage or respond with your email, it is massive. So again, we're trying to further separate ourselves from those agents that say, I'm going to list your home with beautiful photography, I'm going to do open houses, and I'm going to email out to my database. Right? And that's what they say. And that's their offer. You're like, cool. And then it sounds cool, right? It sounds cool. Like, you can make anything sound awesome. You know what I mean? Who's been there where they're like, that's what I'm going to do and that's my offer? Right? Is it, I mean, yes. Where I'm like, oh, I'm going to email this out, I've got this huge reach, you know, like, it sounds great, but when you start to have additional data that separates you from the 70% of people that sold 0 or 1 homes last year, right? That's what we're trying to do with this stuff, okay? So, okay, so we show an example of what our open house flyers look like, right? We show an example of door hangers. Hello, Hannah, right? An example of door hangers to show that we are doing everything we can to get in front of people that we don't know yet, right? I think that's a really, really critical piece to add in here is we are really, really good, and as you've seen, we know a lot of people right here, right? Or we engage and interact with a lot of people, the people that know us, right? But what about all of those folks right here in the Zillow partnership that don't know us and that we don't know them? That's who we're trying to target, and that's how we're targeting them through our massive investment in a platform like Zillow. We're also targeting them through print marketing, which has some pretty cool data behind it. Yeah? Okay? This is really rad to share. I think it's important to share also that we had Spanish-speaking agents on our team, and we take pride in marketing to the Spanish community, which is a massive portion of our marketplace, right? So not only are we doing this in our own primary language, but we are trying to reach people that we don't even speak the same language as, right? Oh, I'm disconnected from Zoom again. I don't know where that's happening. One sec. Okay, we're back on Zoom, right? Okay. Okay. So this is just showcasing all of our buyer and seller guides. Okay. Now we're doing some updates to this page, but this is the end page where we're gonna highlight and summarize everything we've just gone through. So no matter where you are, we can help. And then here's some 2024 metrics. So 650 million in volume closed, a 48% increase year over year. Trust me, you want to be on this ship with us, right? Like we have, again, these stats matter to a seller because this may not seem like a lot to a lot of sellers, but we have 2% market share in Salt Lake County. That is a large number for sure, right? That is absolutely huge. I think this right here, I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit, but these numbers right here, 44.3% SOI, 55.7% Zillow. I think that is really, really powerful. It's all about how you explain it and how you pitch it, right? Anybody have any thoughts on how to pitch that
We don't-
or talk about that?
Yeah, we don't rely solely on, like the money that we spend to generate leads. We're able to almost do half as much, just by the relationships that we already have. So it's, kind of feeding from two sides.
Yes, absolutely. Anybody else? Yes.
About the 2% market share percentage, what is that in compared to in terms of when we say, oh, we have 2% of our market share compared to?
So this will be in Salt Lake County. This is in Salt Lake County. We take the total number of transactions that happened in 2024 and our percentage of those transactions. So if we did, for example, 600 transactions in Salt Lake County, we divide that over how many transactions in total happened in Salt Lake County. Cool. So just our impact on it. Which I wish Michael were here. I feel like he's got some stats on that. But can anybody ask?
I was just trying to look it up.
Yeah, ask ChatGPT. There's a number where it's like as soon as you're over X percentage of market share in the real estate industry, it's like pretty. We can basically compare that to a majority of market share, right? It's not like we have to have 51% market share and be like, oh, that's a majority. Like it's different when you look at it in the real estate space.
Okay.
So I'll circle back to that. Yeah, this SOI and Zillow, yeah, ma'am.
I think also leaning into the fact that like we're meeting these people through Zillow, but they're becoming long life clients, and not only are we helping them, but we're helping their brothers and sisters and mothers and daughters, and that's how it's becoming SOI business as well. We're bringing them so much value that we're helping the whole ecosystem there.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yep, I love that. So it's we invest in bringing buyers and sellers that we do not know yet to this marketplace, right? In addition to marketing to our own spheres of influence and everybody that we do know, right? So having both sides of that coin is really, really, really important. And then to top it all off, we're taking these leads, right? These people that we don't know, and we're turning them into part of the family and part of the ecosystem. So I think, you explain this side of the coin, and then you bring them together. Yes, Lynn?
I think another thing, that the first one that came to my mind is that, I forgot what the stat was, how many, the percentage of people that go start their search on Zillow. Well, I know it's really high.
Yep.
So they could be anywhere.
50% plus.
They could be in all 50 states. Or how many
Yes.
states are we in?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so, so they're all over. So it's not just, so Zillow is taking care of nationally, and our SOI is like people that we know that are around the area, like in the state. But Zillow is like our partner to bring everyone around.
To bring everyone in here.
In the whole
Yep.
country.
Absolutely. Yes, well, I disconnected from Zoom again. That's why.
I just want to translate.
Oh, no.
Is that mostly when she's changing screens?
Is it?
Like moving through marketing?
Yeah. I just want to turn your AI.
Yeah, here.
Suppress.
Yep. While you're doing that, will you just turn me back on, or unmute me, so that way they can hear me forward. Okay. Okay, that's the whole guide. Give me a thermometer. How do we feel about that? It's pretty cool, right? Can we give a round of applause to Jack? It's so rad.
I like that it's short.
Yeah.
Like if it was long, I would write it off. I'd be like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's short, sweet, to the point.
Yes.
Like there's not a lot of words to it. It's like these big numbers.
It's the numbers that you are like searching for every time you need to tell someone. They're just like over there.
Yep, exactly. So again, like rewinding or kind of zooming out to your entire listing presentation, okay? We go from, you know, coming in, introing ourselves to right into talking about that stuff. Like right off the bat. A lot of those things, and you guys will remember from last week when we did a, you know, listing training, the listing training last week, I think it was Carly who had mentioned on Zoom, if you get an objection, like at the end of your presentation, you probably missed the mark, or you definitely missed the mark right at the very beginning, right, or when you were addressing that. So, again, I think it just, that bolsters and just solidifies the rationale behind addressing these critically important things that a consumer doesn't understand, right? Like somebody who's in tech software sales or somebody who's in the health industry, like they don't understand what we do, and it's really, really, really important to show them what we do. Not just talk about it, not tell them that it's gonna be stress-free, but show them all of the work that goes behind. Like how many hours and how much stress like do you put into your job? You know what I mean? Saying it is one thing, showing it is an entirely different thing. They're like, damn, they're doing a lot for me behind the scenes, and I just get to sit back and be like, great, we have a showing, awesome. You know what I mean? And they just trust us a lot more. Cool. Okay. Additions? Thoughts? Yes.
Where is that guy?
I'm going to send this guide out as soon as we update the last page with all those highlighted numbers, market share, those kinds of things. But honestly, we could probably send it out today, tomorrow, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, are they gonna be printed or is this just digital?
Right now it's going to be digital, just digital, because we're going to have it be combined with a listing guide, right, or a seller's guide.
Right.
So yeah, just digital right now. And then as we make updates in the coming months, then we'll do that with everything.
Definitely.
Cool. Cool. Does that work? That sound okay? For Jack? Jack? Yes? Great. Okay. Thank you everybody on Zoom for coming. Thank you guys in person. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your engagement. Bye.